Hey everybody, before the show starts, log on to musicmoneymakeover.com/shop to download all my books and free guides. And while you're there, make sure you click on the book a call tab to book a call with me to get all your questions answered and your problem solved. Enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. My name is Casey Graham, and on this episode, we're talking about Michael Jackson, right? Marsha Ambrosius, right? And music publishing, and what do they exactly have to do anything, and why, Casey, are you going so many years back to explain something? Like, you couldn't just pull anybody from today? Well, it was the one thing I had on my mind, and I really wanted to do this, but I also have to announce that the music production contract course is finally shot, edited, done, and it has been on the website for the last 2 days now. I just hadn't made an announcement about it, but I'm making the announcement today that the music production contract course is ready. And this course will contain one full major label production contract for you producers out there who have been asking me. Remember, we did the poll a while back, and I was asking you how much you think it would be worth and all this stuff because, all of the fans of the channel, you all mean so much to me. And we've been working for a while. Some of you all have been just, constantly contacting me, getting ideas on things that you could do, and it's been great. But a lot of you all since last week are new to the channel, okay? So you don't know a lot of the stuff that's been going on with everybody else that has been here 5,000 subscribers and below, right? So, last week I did a video on Anita Baker, and this thing kind of went viral in my little tiny world of, teaching music business. And I got something like 2,000 subscribers, and it's still climbing. So today I figured let's just do another video kind of not talking about the same thing because, look, I work in this industry. I don't bash the industry, but I do point out its faults, okay? So that's why I do these videos so everybody can have good footing in this industry, all right? So shout out to everybody who watched that video. I really appreciate it. I didn't think it was going to go viral in this music business world area, not the public world. But I thank you all for watching. I thank the haters that hated. I thank everybody that hated on my... Did I not? You know what I mean? Because whatever, who cares, man? This is my YouTube channel. I'm having fun. So yes, that production contract course is now out. The links are down below. And this video is from that course. I figured I would pull a little bit from the production course into this video. And so that's what we're talking about. I'm going to give you a little bit of that course inside this video. Okay, but before we do that, you know that we have to get into our copyright explain. All right, so let's go. All right, now copyright is the sole right which an author has in their own original literary compositions. The exclusive right of an author to print, publish, and vend their own literary works for their own benefit. Now, of course, the music industry operates and revolves around two copyrights, and that's the sound recording copyright and the performing arts copyright. All right, now sound recordings as in records or the audio recording file, the WAV, the MP3, the AIFF of the composition and or song is referred to as the masters. And those funds can be collected from your distributor. And for all you independent artists, that's TuneCore, DistroKid, yada, 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 on down the list. Now, in America, Sound Exchange collects for the performance royalty for the sound recording on webcast radio and also on internet radio, all right, and satellite radio. We don't collect for the performance of the sound recording on any other option or any other platform, but PPL does that over in the UK, and overseas they do that. This is sometimes referred to as neighboring rights, but Sound Exchange can collect those international royalties for you, and PPL can do that if you're in any other country, all right? And you can collect royalties from PPL if you're in America. All right, now the other side, the publishing, the performing arts, as in the composition, sheet music, MIDI files, publishing, or song to be performed is referred to as publishing. You can collect the performance royalty of your publishing or your composition at BMI, ASCAP, CSAC in America. And then overseas, you can collect it at PRS in the UK. All right, now you can collect your lyric display royalties from Lyric Find and Music Match. And you can also collect your mechanical royalties here in America from HFA, which is the Harry Fox Agency, the OGs on the block, Music Reports, and the Mechanical Licensing Collective. All right, and then MCPS is your European Mechanical Collection Performance Society. All right, now there are 6 rights of copyright to be exercised to the fullest extent of the U.S. Constitution under Title 17, and that's the right to reproduce, the right to prepare derivative works, the right to distribute, the right to public performance, the right to public display, and the right to digital performance. Now, okay, so let's get into this thing. What does Michael and Marsha really have in common here? Like, what are we talking about? All right, so what we're talking about is music publishing. And to be frank, we're talking about the song Butterflies, and I want to address that. Why did it take Michael Jackson from his initial release of Butterflies, right, to up to the point where Marsha did her rendition or her new version of it? Like, why did it take 9 years and 8 months between those two? All right. So I thought that maybe we would get into a little something in the contract world and some legal jargon here so you all can understand that this is a way that you can make some exclusivity happen on a contract without actually saying that the contract is exclusive. Okay, so let's jump into what that's called. That is called reversion. All right, the right, especially of the original owner or their heirs, to possess or succeed to property on the death of the present possessor or at the end of a lease. Now, before I jump into, I got to preface the part that I'm going to pull from the course, because we got to talk about this reversion thing. This reversion happens almost in every contract that you do with the majors. And I'm going to address from the production side, okay? So a lot of times you'll have it where in the contract there's a term that will not allow the original composers of the music to go out and either resample, rearrange, put it on another artist, remix it, all this stuff, unless you have some type of consent from the label. That's basically what that is. I pulled that definition from Google because I couldn't pull it from like a law dictionary because it'd be way too much legal jargon for the channel. So that's what that is right there. Okay, so now let's dig into the back end of this thing and look at it before we jump into the actual clause in the contract. Check it out. All right, so released October 30th, 2001 was Michael Jackson's version. And you can see I have a copy of the Song View records from BMI. This is a public record. You can go pull this up. All right. You see you have Marsha right there on the top as a writer and Andre Harris right below as another writer, BMI and ASCAP. Pause. This is why you need your PRO accounts. This is like for publishers and people who need to clear stuff. Like, you got to have, come on, man. Like, if you're in this game, you don't have a PRO account, like in any country in the world, you got to get one. Okay? Like, stop playing around with your money. All right? Now, this is, for artists, this might not be your main money. I mean, your main money would be definitely shows and appearances and endorsements and all that good stuff. But for all you writers and producers and composers, this is your money right here. This is your money. So stop playing with it. Anyway, let's go back to the slide. All right, so let's check it out. You got Marsha there. You got Andre Harris, the original composers of the song. All right. Thankfully, Michael didn't take anything, or the Jackson estate didn't take anything from the song. But if we go to the next slide, you can see that March 1st, 2011, Marsha releases her version of the song. Okay? Same writers, but she's the performer now. Okay? You see that? Marsha's walking away. Well, I can't even see this. It's blurred in my slide. I have to go back to the original thing. But I think she has 70% or 79% of the song. One of the two. So she pretty much did that. Andre probably did some things on keys with her. And so that's that. So now let's jump into the actual clause in the production contract course. Okay? On the website. All right, check it out. During the 3-year period following delivery of the masters to company and or distributor in accordance herewith, company will not permit producer to produce phonograph records of any artist embodying any selection embodied in such masters. This is not quite a reversion clause, and I won't get into what that means, but this just gives them a window of total exclusivity of the composition. This right here, and which is fair, meaning that so they can get the right to promote the masters how they want to before you take the composition and either recreate it, replay it. There's an example of this, Michael Jackson's Butterflies, written by Marsha Ambrosius, right? She wrote the song and arranged the song. She owns the publishing to that song, okay? And however long it took the contract to be, she went back and did that same song at the end of late nights, early mornings. But she had to do a brand new arrangement of it because Michael Jackson held the original master in the Michael Jackson estate. So she could take her composition and replay it after this ran out, this term right here. Okay, so if you can understand that if you make a record and you want to go do it somewhere else, you're going to have to wait 3 years or whatever it is the company agrees to. So as you can see here, the clause gives a bit of what I like to call, it's not a coin phrase, but I like to call it phantom exclusivity, meaning that it's kind of like a reverse lease, if you will. Like all you beat leasers out there who come to my channel and watch all my beat lease videos, it's kind of like, okay, the record company said, hey, Marsha, let's let Michael do everything he can with this record, okay? And then once like the kind of the main life of it has gone out, the hoopla and oh my God, because it's Michael Jackson, right? She probably had a 9-year reversion term in there somewhere. And all my entertainment attorneys, I don't care. You can correct me, whatever. I'm just speaking my truth. And I'm saying that somewhere in her artist agreement, her writer's agreement or production agreement, there was a reversion clause somewhere that said you can't put this out on another artist. You can't cover it yourself. You can't do anything as the publisher owner of this record while Michael has it in its prime heyday of the song. And then after this period is over, you can utilize it. All right. And so now that's what you have. You have this different version that has a little bit more of a current day bop to it other than the original version. It was her record. And this type of thing happens all the time in the music industry. All the time. All the time. I mean, it's like Amazing Grace. There's so many renditions of Amazing Grace. And if you're a great publisher, you know how to resell and resell and resell and resell and resell the same exact song over and over and over and over again, right? To country artists, to jazz artists, to kids bop. You get different. Like I was in Five Below the other day and I heard Stanky Leg and it was a little kid singing Stanky Leg, but it wasn't the original version. It was the kid's version and he knew it by heart. Right? So that's how an excellent publisher says, yo, we about to remix this for folk music, country music, jazz music, kids music, square dancing music, cookout music. And they're just going to make it over and over. And restaurant music, we're going to make an instrumental version for mood music. We're going to make a version for movies and all. That's the sign of an excellent publisher. And because she totally understood that, she took advantage of it. And I know she knows how to read her contracts. So simply because of that type of move right there. All right. So anyway, I'm going to play a little bit more from the course intro and I will see you all later. Please stay and watch. And then if you really like what you're seeing, go ahead and purchase this course, okay? Because this course, I'm laying out a full major label production contract that I have used several times for clients and myself, okay? It works. It covers everything. You can take stuff out if you want it. If you want to dumb it down, you can. And I may do a more simplified version, but hey, look, this is the grand announcement of the music production contract course. It's been a year in the making. Okay, it's been a long time for my true fans that have been watching me for quite some time. And it's finally here. I want you all to go check it out on the website today. All right. And I'll keep advertising this thing. All right. Stay tuned. I'll see you all later. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the music production contract course. Course is presented by me, Casey Graham of the Music Money Makeover Show. Before we get into it, I'm going to explain what the sections of the contract will be about, and then we'll go over copyright as usual. Per anything I do, I always discuss the two types of copyright that the music industry thrives on. This is the explanation to it, and then at the end of the course, there will be a formula explaining how to use the math inside of this contract. And therefore, how, it will let you know how you can advance
yourself as a producer or record labels, if you're using these for the producers that you're signing on, you will then know how to use your projections in advance for what you can actually foresee your company making back, if that makes any sense. But when we get there, I'll explain that, okay? So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so this is the course outline right here. We're going to go over copyright, like I said in the beginning. We will address the two types of copyright that the music business revolves around. In sections 1 through 3, these sections will serve as the reason for the contract and will be used to base every other section of the contract on. In section 4 is dealing with royalties. This section of the contract deals with every bit of money you will receive as a producer besides your mechanical royalties. I need you to pay close attention to that one here because it's going to be very in-depth. All right, probably the deepest section of the contract. All right, section 5, expenses. This section deals with how you'll turn in your invoices in order to be paid. That's a necessary section right there. All right, section 6 is the master recording transfer. This has to happen for all producers who are signing their masters over to the label in a producer contract. It's standard, so don't be scared of that. That happens all the time. All right, this is the key section of the contract and will concern signing over the master sound recording files and copyright to the company involved. Section 7, the warranties. This section states that you're free to do the things stated in this agreement and what you can and can't do under the contract, which is basically samples. All right. Section 8, mechanical royalties. This section covers the mandatory royalty for all writers and composers involved with the composition. Section 9, non-exclusivity and name and likeness. This covers the non-exclusive rights for the producer and the rights to use the name and likeness of the producer. All right. Section 10, indemnifications. This is insurance against the producer from the company. All right. And vice versa. Section 11, the force majeure. All right. This is basically forfeiture that just in case something happens, steps to take just in case the contract has to be forfeited or discontinued. Section 12 through 13 is the acknowledgement and notices. All right, this section just confirms that you acknowledge everything that's in the contract, and it states where to send notices in case things have to be amended or so forth and so on, okay? Section 14, successors and assigns. This gives the right for the company to reassign this contract to another company if need be, all right? And then Section 15 is publishing. This section reconfirms the splits that are necessary for the song royalties to be issued. You're going to need this percentage for your mechanical royalties, so it's just necessary to have that in there. Now, Schedule A is just basically a section for if you need the artist contract, right? If there's a discrepancy that arises and you don't have it and you need it, this is a notice so that you can receive it. All right. Now, usually you would have it on hand when the execution of this arises, and it will go to your attorney so they could have it on file and not for you to have it personally because it's only for that. But if you don't have an attorney and you're using this contract, it's totally fine. When you need to use the contract or you need the artist contract because a discrepancy arises, this will give you permission to go and get it. All right. And lastly, there's a sound exchange letter of direction, and this just directs part of the digital performance royalties payable to the artist to the producer. Okay. Now, we will talk about the formula on how to advance your producer royalties and companies, how you can figure out what's the budget that you will have available for your producers. Okay, so that's going to be at the end of the course. All right, so let's jump into it.
Everybody, thanks for watching the show. Make sure you log on to musicmoneymakeover.com/shop to download all my books and free guides. And while you're there, click on the Book a Call tab to book a call with me to get all your questions answered and problems solved. I'll see you all soon.